Charlotte Independence looking for a fourth straight home victory tonight as they host St. Louis FC here at the Sportsplex at Matthews. Chris Whittingham alongside the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey for commentary of this one. And Gary, we'll get to St. Louis's cup run in a moment, but first want to start with Charlotte and their tremendous form of late. Only one win in 13 to start the year, but since changing manager, it has very much turned around.
Yeah, Mike Jeffrey is taking over, and what a difference he has made. The last 5 games, 3 wins and 2 draws. And you mentioned what a poor start it was to the season. Well, a win here today could see them very well move into those playoff places. Which would be incredible given the start to this season. Of course, many more games played than St. Louis, but still a chance for them to move up the table. As we get to our starting lineup tonight for Charlotte Independence, it is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. And Gary, just the one change for Charlotte from the team that beat Pittsburgh Riverhounds by a goal to 0 last Sunday night. Yeah, young Sabella coming off and Adura as expected coming on. Dominic Adura is such a good player and so many goals this season. So he's absolutely vital to the cause. 6 goals in 18 games, but nothing wrong with the young Sabella. He's got a good future ahead of him. Alex Martinez, the goal scorer a weekend ago in that 1-0 victory. He'll play on that left-hand side. As we now get to St. Louis FC, eliminated from the Lamar Hutton U.S. Open Cup in midweek. One of the stories of the season in the USL Championship, get into the quarterfinal, but going down to Atlanta United. Yeah, they lost 2-0 to Atlanta United. 2 sort of errors, I guess, defensively. Bainer dispossessed for the first and Reynolds giving away a penalty for the second. But let's put the US Open Cup aside and look at their league form. No wins in 7. Dropping down that table very, very quickly. And they need to turn things around tonight. And if not won in the league since April 27th, as we get to their starting lineup, again presented to you by Dick's Sporting Goods, and 3 changes from the team that lost to Atlanta on Wednesday night. Yeah, out goes Cup goalkeeper Gomez, in Jake Fenderson, Camden Feo for Sean Reynolds. And then Caleb Calvert comes in for Matt Bainer. Matt Bainer, defender. Calvert come in as a striker. They played just 1 up against Atlanta United. Today they go back to their more standard 4-4-2. Moving from the 5 at the back that they played against Atlanta. Again, a 2-0 victory, a 2-0 defeat, excuse me, in midweek to the MLS champions, but a tremendous run in the cup. They beat 2 MLS teams on the way, and when we return, we'll see if they can get back to winning ways in the USL Championship as Charlotte Independence are the home side on the night here at the Sportsplex at Matthews. It is Charlotte Independence and St. Louis FC when we return.
My card.
Misplace your debit card? Turn it off with your app.
Excuse me, my card.
This one's gotta be yours, right?
Yes.
And turn it on when you find it.
These are the hands of Novant Health. The hands saving lives. Taking control when it matters most. These are the hands advancing care. They're skillful, precise, and compassionate.
It's gonna be okay from here.
They're the hands giving you strength. Those same hands delivering specialized care also take the time to hold yours. And they'll be waving goodbye as you walk out of our doors and back to your life. These are the hands of Novant Health, the hands making healthcare remarkable.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
Live pictures from the Sportsplex at Matthews as we're just about set for Charlotte Independence to be wearing their home blues on the night, and St. Louis FC, who wore the same away whites away in Kennesaw on Wednesday night as they were eliminated in the quarterfinal of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. One of the stories of the USL Championship on this season, getting all the way through from when they entered in the second round. It started in Des Moines and ended in Atlanta. A couple of MLS scalps on the way, but St. Louis now have to get back focused on the league, Gary. They have not won in 7 in the USL Championship since April the 27th, while this Magical Cup run has been going on, and now all focus returns to the league for the visitors on the night.
It certainly does. Forget about Chicago Fire and all the other teams they beat, and even going out against Atlanta United this weekend. They have to get their league form right, and they have to do it soon.
And it will be Lewis Hilton who will get us going. Our matchday referee is Kevin Broadley. And it is Charlotte Independence, the home side on the night, looking for a 6th result in 6, taking on the side eliminated in the cup in midweek, St. Louis FC. For Charlotte, another solid victory at home, a 1-0 over Pittsburgh Riverhounds last Sunday night here at the Plex. Alex Martinez catching the Pittsburgh goalkeeper Austin Pack out with a lovely chip attempt that eventually nestled in the back of the net, which gave Charlotte the 3 points on the night. They've won all 3 home matches since Mike Jeffries took charge 5 matches ago. And for St. Louis, cup defeat in midweek in the league last Saturday night, a 2-2 against Loudoun United at home. Another result that probably was not judged to be good enough by the manager, Anthony Pulis. Loudoun below the playoff line side. And in the end, St. Louis able to get 2 back through Kyle Gregg and Russell Cicerone. But it's only a point. It's without a win in 7. And Gary, this match pits the 2 teams on either side of the playoff line in the Eastern Conference.
It certainly does, and they're going in 2 different directions. St. Louis are heading downwards. They are 1 place above Charlotte in 10th, but they're going downwards like a rock at the moment. And Charlotte Independence, as you say, 5 games, the last 5 games, 3 wins and 2 draws. They're looking fantastic. They're on their way up, and it could change here. A win for Charlotte, they go above St. Louis into the playoff places. St. Louis go out. And it really is it's turning into a crisis for St. Louis. Yes, their cup form has been out of this world, no question whatsoever. But their league form has fallen apart. And now they come here after this loss to Atlanta United, tied legs, up against a good and informed Charlotte side. This is a massive, massive game for St. Louis tonight.
And as well, Gary, short rest for a team that played on Wednesday night, presumably put a lot, certainly defended for a majority of the match against Atlanta United. Went into a back 5 and were defending for a majority of it. And 2 days later, only make 3 changes.
Yeah, only 3 changes. There's going to be a lot of tired minds out there. It's not just the legs. It's the fact that you're away at Atlanta United. There's all the sort of press and the excitement, and can you go through to the semi-finals? In the end, it was a tough loss. It was 1-0 until the dying moments and a penalty given away. So it looks probably worse than it actually is, but they're mentally fatigued, no question. There will be. They're physically fatigued, and they've been in such poor league form that you actually worry for them. If they don't turn it around soon, they're going to lose all that wonderful early season form, will be thrown out the window. So again, massive match here for them today.
As Abdoulaye Mansali playing it to the feet of Dominic Oduro, laid off there for Niki Jackson, well won back by Oscar Umar. And meanwhile for Charlotte, they too with a chance to move above the playoff line, but with so many more matches played than St. Louis, they played 4 more times than their visitors on the night. They're going to just need to win as many games as they can and hope that teams around them drop points. Here's the goal scorer from a week ago, Alex Martinez, to his brother Enzo, but taken off it by Oscar Umar. Here's Cicerone. As his right-footed cross gets cut out by Abdoulaye Mansali, and a throw in for Paris G. Lewis Hilton. Moving it well from side to side. St. Louis have more naturally footed players at their full back positions, have been trying out Sean Reynolds at right back, but now Paris G returns to that role that he played so well for Tulsa a year ago.
There's Cicerone battling for the ball, and he's, for me, one of the top players at St. Louis. plays out wide and puts in some wonderful crosses. We saw one in a recent game for Kyle Gregg that he headed into the corner. Absolutely brilliant finish. That was against Loudon. Got them back into the match at 2-1. And Cicerone is able to score goals and to assist. So he's going to be crucial for St. Louis tonight, I would think.
Abdullah Mansali charging on. Nice ball infield for Martinez, who tries to return the favor, but it'll come for Dominic Oduro on this left-hand side. Across towards the back post. Jackson arriving! And there's the opening goal for Charlotte! Lovely delivery to the back post, and Niki Jackson makes no mistake. His third goal of the year, and the opening 5 minutes, Charlotte Independence in front.
Welcome back, Oduro. That's the brilliance of this man. He picks up his head, finds Jackson free at the back post. Beautiful cross and well finished. Look at Jackson smiling, but he's going across to Oduro to say thanks so much. That was a wonderful, wonderful cross. And have a look as the build-up in midfield. Enzo getting the ball wide, but Oduro's got his header, comes back onto his right foot, picks out Jackson. It's a good finish here. The keeper flying at him. Never easy as a striker when the keeper's about to punch your head off. And have a look at Jackson there. As the keeper comes in, he picks out that far corner and buries it.
And Jackson, who scored about 10 days ago in their 4th of July match against North Carolina FC, has quickly put the home side in front, and now work to do as Kadeem Dakers will slide in. Bradley Camden-Fable, his cross into the penalty area towards Kyle Gregg. Taken well, Kyle Gregg, and a tremendous save from Brandon Miller. Opportunities at both ends in the span of a minute.
Good save from the keeper there, and he's been useful in this good run that Charlotte have had. A lot of it's been down to Brandon Miller making crucial saves, and that was another one there. Kyle Gregg, quick turn, puts power behind it, but the keeper is equal to it.
End-to-end stuff here, and we should tell you, you can get all the latest Charlotte Independence gear now at shopcharlotteindependence.com. You might want yourself a Niki Jackson jersey after that finish.
Was a lovely header, wasn't it? Back the way it came into the far corner. No chance for the keeper.
Camden Fable with the low delivery into the area. And well cut out there by Charlotte. Now Dakers. Strong tackles. The duels needed to be won by either side tonight. At the moment being won by Charlotte. Jackson trying the back heel. Comes kindly from Martinez. Can spread the play. Now Oduro in space can slide in Abdullah Mansali. Abdullah Mansali trying to attempt the cross. It's cut up by Paris G. And now work to do for Umar. He'll lay it off and eventually getting it to the feet of Caleb Calvert. Trying to flick on for Gregg, but wasn't alert to it. This match played with real pace. Now, Martinez.
The pitch is not in the best of form, and we saw this when Charlotte hosted Pittsburgh last weekend. Not always easy for the players to play along the ground. You see little patches of brown here and there. It always makes it difficult for the players. So if you do see the odd bouncing ball and odd missed pass, you probably know why.
Nice dummy there from Martinez, and returning as well for Joel Johnson, but his ball to the feet of Niki Jackson dealt with. Charlotte Independence next home match isn't until the month of August, and August 3rd tilt with Louisville City. But tickets are still available. You can purchase them at charlotteindependence.com. Gregg trying to touch it down, but nobody there. Now Mansali trying to get turned. Part of a back four with Hugh Roberts, Stephen Tico, and Joel Johnson. Look at times like 4-5-1 for Charlotte as Alex Martinez tries to get going. He'll have Kevon George as an option, as well as Afrim Taku, the Albanian. Dominic Oduro will play on this left-hand side with Niki Jackson and Enzo Martinez leading the line for Charlotte Independence.
Look at St. Louis just keeping very, very deep in their own half, basically saying, look, we're not going to come chasing the ball in your half. We'll just wait for you to come to us. But we're looking at a team in St. Louis who have gone on a fantastic cup run, and throughout it we did the Chicago Fire match. We said be careful because a good cup run often takes your focus off your league performance. Well, hasn't it done just that? Unbelievable in the cup, way below par in the league, and here they are 1-0 down already.
And now given away here as Taku can charge on. We'll try and slide in Jackson. Camden Feo getting in the way. Jackson trying to jump around him to get to the ball, and it's a foul given there by the assistant, and then our matchday referee, Kevin Broadley.
No malice at all, the two players shaking hands afterwards. And so this is Carl Gregg's turn. He turns so quickly and gets power behind him, but Brandon Miller making a good save. And as mentioned, he has made a number of good saves during this wonderful run by Charlotte, a crucial part of the success. And I suppose you have to give Mike Jeffries a lot of credit. You come in and you play 5 games, 3 wins and 2 draws. It's got to be a lot to do with the coach. And he said he wanted to get Charlotte playing the way that they like to play, passing the ball around. And it's made a massive, massive difference having him back in the coach's position.
You do have to say as well that the new manager, Jim McGuinness, did bring some players from his background. He has a lot of previous in Scotland, so a few Scottish players come in. And to keep the whole of the club on side, even though the manager plays well, obviously Mike Jeffries in a technical role did as well, but well done by the managers. Mansally will have an effort.
Yeah, always difficult for managers, but ultimately you get measured on your success. And this is why I'm concerned for Anthony Pulis. He's done so well with St. Louis. Wonderful start to the season. And we're talking so highly of what he's achieved in the cup run. As again, we've said it a number of times, I'll keep saying it, absolutely brilliant. But if they keep losing in the league and they drop out of a playoff position, suddenly he comes under pressure. And you know, many times we've discussed, do you really want to go on a cup run? Does it really work for you? You've got to have a big squad, and overseas, only the really big teams who play in European competitions, European Champions League, and their own leagues. If you haven't got a big squad, you have to let the European stuff go. You can't manage it. And again here, is the St. Louis squad big enough to do both? We're going to find out in the next few weeks.
As Mansally is onto it. We'll try and slide an Oduro. Going to need his pace to get there. He will. Just tries any delivery and manages well to play it off Paris G. And for a Charlotte Independence corner, which is brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Chance to get a decent ball into the box. And one thing St. Louis are normally good at is defending set pieces. In fact, Coach Mike Jeffries saying that he's more concerned when St. Louis put in set pieces because they have so many big boys who can get on the end of the crosses.
It will be Enzo Martinez to swing in the corner. And it is again towards that back post. Fenlison able to get something to it. Calvert going to try and keep it in play, and just rolls kindly for him. And Fenlison rising to deal with that corner. Lewis Hilton.
He was one of the players Mike Jeffries picked out when we chatted to him this week. He said, Lewis Hilton, he's had time with him before, and had him on his teams, and he says he is a dynamo in the midfield, and we're going to have to watch him very closely and make sure we don't allow him to play. So specifically picked out for mention Lewis Hilton by the opposing coach.
And Calvert, I believe you heard some of the fans there singing for him, and that is because Caleb Calvert played his first 4 years in USL with Charlotte, as there you see the work there by Jake Fenlison. But nice to have some of the home fans recognizing the good work that Calvert did for them over the years with a song for him.
That is wonderful to see. Normally when you play against your own club, the songs they sing aren't very pleasant. Something to do with traitor and
Umar scoring 8 times in 61 matches for Charlotte over 4 years, a player with MLS previous, with Chivas USA and eventually Colorado Rapids.
I'm watching this St. Louis team very closely here because 1-0 down after all the excitement of Atlanta United Cup game midweek. They've got to pick themselves up for this. They've got to put the extra effort in.
First time ball attempted there by Calvert. Now Cicerone on it. Leave it for Paris G. It's a strong cross through the area, but Kyle Gregg a bit more shaded towards the near post, and now Daker's trying to get onto it. Thrown back by Joel Johnson. Left for Hugh Roberts just to boot it away. Jackson trying to take it down, appeals for handball, but Joel Johnson is going to burst with pace. He's got nobody running with him, though. He'll allow some attackers to join in and lay it off for Martinez. Enzo turning. And now Charlotte moving into their attacking shape with the ball sprayed out to Stephen Tico.
Once again, St. Louis just happy to stay in their own pitch, try and deny space to Charlotte. Only Carl Gregg really crossing that halfway line. It's a system that a lot of teams employ when they don't have the ball, just drop deep. And it denies space, of course, because there's more white shirts in their own half. But it does mean is it's further to play out when you do win the ball. So let's see how they do play out now.
Hilton. Got his usual central midfield partner, Guy at bend. Though Oscar Umar has played plenty both in the cup and in the league. At times, injuries have really hampered Anthony Pulis. Found Albert Dikwa tonight, didn't make the trip. So players like Joaquin Rivas and Audi Jepson have played key roles. Had Austin Martz retire in the middle of the season. As here is Kyle Gregg. Paris G. St. Louis. At the moment, in USL, struggling to really create those gilt-edged chances. They've only scored 19 times in 15 matches. Sometimes you just wonder where that inspiration is going to come from. Usually it's come from Russell Cicerone, but just need a few more match winners.
Yeah, it's come in the US Open Cup. That's where it's come. They've scored some wonderful goals and brilliant crosses, and Russell Cicerone's been brilliant. Kyle Gregg. There's been so many magical moments, and that's where their energy seems to have been focused. And as much as coach Anthony Pulis tries to get them to focus on the league, it's just almost humanly possible. How do you compare, you know, going from Atlanta United and all the fuss and the press and everything else, and then coming here today, with all due respect.
Oh, Martinez trying to catch Fenlison off his line. It was an audacious attempt.
It was, and given how good his goal was last weekend against Pittsburgh, he can pull it off. Absolutely brilliant awareness, but wide of the target, Alex Martinez. But the one he scored last week, I reckon, was a contender for goal of the month. Sorry, Enzo Martinez. It was his brother's one on the weekend that was contender for goal of the month, so he was probably trying to match him with a similar strike.
What a moment that would have been. And it come off of a nice move from St. Louis. 15 to 20 passes. Trying to get the whole team involved in the build-up, and then Hilton giving away. Kendon Fewo trying to touch it over Alex Martinez, and now the tussle results in a free kick for St. Louis, and Alex Martinez can scarcely believe it.
Yeah, he thought it was going to go the other way to him, and you can see the shock on his face, but the referee gives his decision and moves on. And you'll see that Charlotte are also playing this sort of deep, low block, all their players in their own half, trying to deny space to the opposition, so both teams employing similar tactics when they're defending.
Switch again! Switch again!
And then once in the counter-attack, moving into an attacking shape, seems to be a tactic for either side. Here's Sam Fink, one of the heroes in that cup run. And it is off him, out for the Charlotte throw.
He's been a hero all season, Sam Fink. 4 goals he's got in 14 appearances. Let's have a look at that shot again from Enzo Lewis. Hilton here loses possession. Enzo turns. He sees that Jake's off his line, but it's going to have to be one hell of a strike to beat the goalkeeper from there. But
he had the power and the arc on it. It's more, if it's more central, I think it probably goes in.
Very well could have, but I reckon he's seen his brother score that wonder goal last weekend and thought, I've got to top him this weekend. They probably had a little side bet on it to see if he could outperform his brother.
Bit of sibling rivalry in the team.
That's it.
Afram Taku joins from Tampa Bay Rowdies, who are the next opponent for St. Louis FC away from home. Life doesn't get any easier for Anthony Pulis and this St. Louis side.
It doesn't, which is why this result today is absolutely crucial for them to stop the rot, so to speak, with no wins in 7. And, of course, with this tough match coming away from home, if they lose here today and then they go and lose at Tampa, it really will be a knock to their confidence. And given how well they started this season, it's amazing in soccer how things can turn You can start off so well and look absolutely brilliant, and then suddenly you're moving into the second half of the season and you're struggling to get any sort of result. And sometimes as a coach, you don't know why. We could say it's the US Open Cup run has taken their focus away, but the coach might say it's not that, it's something else, but often it's hard to put your finger on.
Well, he's often said, Anthony Pulis, that he feels like the performances have been strong. It's just a bit of a rub of the green and hard done by in terms of luck.
Yeah, but how come they managed such good luck in the Cup? There's just something extra they were able to find, St. Louis.
And even started the season, won 4 of 5 to begin the year, including a couple of impressive victories over the likes of Indy 11 and a few others as well.
Yeah. I just know from my own experience of playing Cup and League that you do run out of steam. You run out of mental steam sometimes, not just physical steam. And then, you know, if you're doing well in the Cup, it's your league form that suffers. It's very difficult to do both. And I think, you know, I would assume that's the main reason why St. Louis is struggling, is they're coming from all the excitement and buzz of taking on Atlanta United and coming in. That's all, with all due respect to Charlotte, it's difficult for them to provide the same level of competition and excitement as Atlanta United. But Charlotte have had all week. They've been sitting there watching St. Louis expend all that energy Wednesday night and saying, that's fine. We're just keeping all our energy, keeping all our excitement for when we meet you on the weekend. And already they're 1-0 up, the home side.
Cavito. Camden Feo's given the ball away a few times. Early stages. Nice couple of touches there, though. Finding Oscar Umar. Lovely interchange there. Camden Feo using his big body to get in the way, but eventually a bit too much of a heavy touch there for Afrim Taku, and actually could come kindly here for a white shirt is Kyle Gregg, aggressively trying to win the ball back here off of Roberts. Pair of tackles coming through, and Roberts unable to get anything on it away. He'll come for a throw-in.
With the support of sports medicine professionals at Novant Health, you can trust the Exos team to help you reach your sports and fitness goals safely and effectively. Novant Health
tackles being put in, and
proud sponsor of the Charlotte Independence. To learn more, visit
hotly contested match early stages. The goal coming courtesy of a Niki Jackson header. Delivery was decent from Dominic Oduro, wasn't it?
Oh, it's a wonderful cross. I mean, of course, Niki Jackson will take all the credit. He peeled off it at the far post, but Oduro's ability to see him and put it right on his head. And it didn't give goalkeeper Jake Finlayson a chance to cut it out. That's how good that cross was. And then, of course, Niki Jackson heads it back into the top corner, and they're 1-0 up. Excellent, excellent finish. And I think that's the value that Oduro brings you. What a good player he is, and what a difference he makes when he comes into this side. 6 goals this season and a couple of assists, and that was one of them today.
These two teams have already played this year, finished 1-0 at the Worldwide Technology. Kyle Gregg with the only goal in that one. It's awkwardly dealt with there by Fink, as Finlayson was expected to be there, and Oduro nearly profited.
Did you hear the shout from the goalkeeper? I could hear it. He shouted keepers. That's why Sam Fink left it. And it wasn't the keeper's ball, and that was so nearly a chance for Oduro there. It's one advantage we have of being able to hear the coaches and the players shout, and there was definitely a huge call by Jake Finlayson, and it was the wrong call. Lucky to get away with that, the goalkeeper.
I'm glad you heard that, because I think a lot of people might have been watching and gone, wait, what's Sam Fink doing there?
Yeah.
But it's listening to the instructions of the goalkeeper.
Absolutely, and when the goalkeeper screams that loudly, you have to leave it because you assume he can see everything. And I think it even caught Oduro by surprise. Otherwise, he would have been on the end of that, and maybe it would have been 2-0. So St. Louis lucky to get away with that one.
Now St. Louis with the lion's share of the possession, but unable to really carve through Charlotte. We're fine keeping a defensive posture with their lead. Camden Feo. These two sides have played in alternate years, 2015 and 2017, as St. Louis, right in the middle of the country, have swapped between Eastern and Western Conference every year in their existence, as now Cicerone nearly cutting on to the left and perhaps left too much of it there for Mansally, and now a chance for Charlotte to hit on the counter. Here's the left back, Abdoulaye Mansally, the Gambian. Laying it off for Enzo. Roughly outside of the boot ball. Kevon George. Now Joel Johnson will bend out wide for that overlapping run. Alex Martinez towards that byline. Around Camden Febo, getting the cross towards Niki Jackson. What a take! That ball was in play. And Niki Jackson going for the spectacular, and it only just didn't come off.
Absolutely brilliant effort, wasn't it? Alex Martinez doing so well here. He goes, lifts across it, takes one more touch, knocks it up. Niki Jackson, great agility, and that's just over the crossbar. Have a look at it again. Alex Martinez goes across it, dummies, goes, then knocks it back. Niki Jackson up, gets lots of power behind it, just over the crossbar. Great effort.
A couple of attempts from Charlotte that can best be described as audacious. We had Enzo's from the halfway line and Niki Jackson with the idea there, and it nearly came off for him.
Just shows you they're playing with confidence. This confidence that you would assume has come from Coach Mike Jeffries since he's been in charge. Certainly you can see the results, and with the results comes an ability of the team. They believe. They're starting to see themselves climb up the table into, if they win this match, into a playoff position. And when you have that sort of confidence, as we saw with Alex Martinez against Pittsburgh last week, you start to try, as you say, audacious efforts. And he pulled it off last week, Alex Martinez, and Niki Johnson nearly pulled it off there.
And you wonder when a team goes from, we're getting some winning results, to now we're playing with confidence and we're going to express ourselves as we feel this confidence surging through the side and try things like that.
Yeah, then it gives the other players in the team confidence because they see that, you know, Niki Jackson tries something like that. Enzo would try to chip the goalkeeper. Then it just spreads amongst the team. That's why I say it's very difficult sometimes to wonder why teams suddenly start playing badly or suddenly start playing well. Just a little turn in belief can make a massive difference.
So you have a look at the Charlotte Independence manager, Mike Jeffries. Managed the club in the first 4 seasons in USL Championship. Took a front office role with Jim McGinnis taking over as the coach, but didn't quite come off. Only 1 win. And Jeffries reinserting himself, he says, at least for the remainder of this year. And if it keeps going like this, I imagine he'll be right back in the manager's chair a year from now.
Well, I would think so. I'd think those above him at Charlotte Independence will be getting little contracts out and ready for him to sign, because he certainly has the Midas touch, and he's proved it so far. And that's all you want. You want a manager who can come in and make the players play, and he's done it. 3 wins and 2 draws in 5. Can't get much better than that.
And Sally? Dominic Oduro, in his first season in USL, only a dozen years in MLS, with a variety of signs, was traded 6 times within the league, and appearing 346 times.
Great experience, isn't it? He showed it when he had the assist for that goal. He knew where Jackson was, and then he was able to turn and put that ball on Niki Jackson's head. This is a little bit early for a sub.
Whether if it's tactical or otherwise, is Bradley Camden Febo will come off, and it will be Matt Boehner. And you'd have to think that that's injury given how early this is. Boehner will come in as a right back, and it'll be Paris G moving over to the left. If that's a tactical substitution, that's pretty difficult for a player to take in the first half, but Anthony Pulis feeling the need to change it.
I didn't see any injury, but we don't know what is said and what's, you know, whether he was struggling just before the game and felt a twinge. And Matt Boehner's maybe got something to prove. He got dispossessed for the first goal against Atlanta United, and that really set the theme for the rest of the game.
As Fink with a step forward now, Kavita trying to get there before Niki Jackson does, and the DR Congo native doing well to settle it. Here's the substitute, Boehner. was a tactical substitution. Camden Fabo took it very well. You'd imagine most players pulled after 28 minutes would not be pleased with it.
I can't see why. He didn't do anything wrong, and he hasn't been skinned down that right-hand side. Or he's on the left-hand side, right-hand side for Charlotte. So no glaring reason. So I'm assuming he either wasn't feeling well before the game and said, "Coach, I'm feeling a bit sick," or maybe he got a slight strain, and the coach said, "Look, if you're not feeling up to it, I'll bring you off." That's the only thing I can reasonably think of.
Can we gain a few yards? Can we gain some ground?
St. Louis manager Anthony Pulis begging for his side to go forward a bit and press a bit higher. We had the match last Sunday night here at the Sportsplex, and we enjoyed very much the Bob Lilly show, managing his side for a full 90 minutes. And I imagine tonight will be treated to similar with Anthony Pulis, the St. Louis manager.
Yeah, you can hear a lot of what the coaches say, and Willis last week gave a blow-by-blow account to all his players, and we actually felt sorry for the players by the end of the match. They were picked on by the manager time and time again, obviously with a view to helping them play the game, but they were sort of trying to play their football as far away from the coach's bench as possible.
As you have a look now at Matt Boehner allowing the ball to run out of play. Not certain it did. It does have to be the hole of the ball over the hole of the line. But in the judgment of the assistant referee, it is a throw-in for Charlotte in an attacking area. Half hour gone. Charlotte 1, St. Louis 0. Umar stepping in there to win the ball. Calvert unable to hold on to the play. Tico. And Taku. Charlotte looking to build up down that right-hand side. Johnson and Martinez, a good combination. It's a lovely flick from Jackson. Now Alex Martinez with 2 for defense, sliding it through the area. Cut out by Umar, but only as far as Kevon George. Now Mansally charging on, can find a good window to send a cross in. Kavita bending to get the defensive header to it, and clear by Kadeem Dakers.
Good spell for Charlotte here. That was a decent ball in from Mansally, and they really are, or were for a couple of minutes there, probing at that St. Louis backline. But at 1-0, it really is up to the visitors St. Louis to make more of the play. I'm sure Charlotte will be very happy at 1, and no doubt would love to get a second, but they're just going to probe away in their own time.
Oh, lovely nutmeg there from Dominic Oduro through Matt Boehner, and the matchday referee saying that that tackle was not worthy of a foul.
Was there a tug on Oduro? Not sure. He obviously felt so and appealed. Mind you, I like the nutmeg.
I don't think Matt Boehner did. G. And Hilton. The most hot summer's night in Matthews tonight, only 79 degrees at kickoff. USL summer standards, that's a chilly night in July. As Calvert trying to go outside of the boot to flick on. Now Greg winning the header. It'll come for Cicerone in the penalty area. Lovely move there from the winger, but eventually cut out. Let's have a look at the skill here from Oduro. Holy!
Absolutely brilliant, yeah. Well, there was an arm out from Matt Boehner, so have a look here, through the legs, look at the left arm comes out. Seeing it again, I would think that is a free kick. But difficult for the referees. They don't have the advantage of the slow motion replay. They've got to call it in real time, and it's almost impossible to get it right every single time. So we always let the referees off the hook in these situations.
Martinez. And Afrim Taku. Prolific goal scorer in Albania before moving to Tampa a year ago, as Johnson again turning on the style points, now cutting inside. The left-footed effort is well wide there. And our cameraman pit side handling that effort from Afrim Taku.
Not the best of efforts with the left foot there. Comes inside. Opens up the gap there, and he's got to strike it cleanly. Just doesn't make contact at all, doesn't get the power behind it, doesn't get the direction. I'm sure he'd love to have that one again. I'm sure he could do a better job second time around. Jack Fenderson hasn't had a whole bunch to do, but that one goal is what separates him, and it was such a good header from Niki Jackson and such a great cross from Maduro. Not much the goalkeeper could do about it.
Ivan George, the Trinidad and Tobago international, winning the header. Enzo Martinez trying to flick on for Jackson to run onto it. And now G plays it off the charging Martinez for a St. Louis throw. What might he be writing down? Not too much in the way of attacking options on the bench for Anthony Pulis. Gaia Bend is a central midfielder, and Nishi Vlastos, an academy kid who's only appeared a few times in the Open Cup, as it will be Jackson turning, laying it off with George, with man charging. Well handled there by George and Afrantaku. And Sally. Hilton trying to get in there to win it off him, and Mansally stuck an arm up, and he's going to earn yellow for that challenge. Hilton going down. He wouldn't do so for just about anything. That had to have been aggressive there for Mansally.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, there was a hand. It did come out in his face. It was a push. And it will always get your yellow card every single time. Lewis Hilton, a tough man in midfield, as you said, doesn't go down that easily. So Mansally going to be very careful now. He doesn't do anything else that upsets the referee. And there's Lewis Hilton taking in some fluids. They're going to need this, St. Louis, after the big match on Wednesday. Traveling back from Atlanta, and having given so much in that game, they're going to do it all again today, and that must be a major concern for Anthony Pulis. Perhaps he was writing something down about getting fluids into the players and getting them to maybe just hold back on the running, you know, keep the legs for the second half, because I'd be concerned that my team will run out of steam.
Especially without full-scale squad rotation with 3 matches in a week.
That is the problem. They've had 3 changes, but one of those is a goalkeeper. So for outfield players, just 2 changes. That means there's 8 other players whose legs are going to be tired from Wednesday. There's not much on the bench to help you out either.
I think we only saw 1 or 2 from the last league match as well. So it's basically the same squad. We've been playing these tough matches, and we'll have a week off, but it's a trip to Tampa Bay Rowdies, who top the table right now in the Eastern Conference, away from home. It'll be another warm weather match as well. It's not getting any easier, but at the end of the month, a home match with Bethlehem Steel, you'd imagine they're looking at that and going, we need 3 points there. Another team near the playoff line, along with Charlotte.
You also made the point a few minutes ago that they have games in hand, St. Louis. That's the one big thing in their favor. They've got 3, maybe even 4 games over some teams around them, including Charlotte. But having the games in hand doesn't mean to say you're going to get the points, and that's the big challenge for Anthony Pulis. He's got to get his team picking up 3 points on a regular basis. Maybe not every game, but certainly at least every second game. And right now, no wins in 7. And they're 1-0 down here today, and they play Tampa Rowdies next.
You'd also imagine, if you have a look at the supporters here at the ground at Charlotte, that conceding the opening 5 minutes was not in the plan.
Nope.
That was indeed the case, as CG just showing there the signs of struggling from a mental standpoint. Stay in the game for a full 270 minutes in a week. It's Loudon last Saturday night in a 2-2 draw. A 2-0 loss to Atlanta United on Wednesday night, the MLS Cup champions.
But even with that Loudon match, as you say, 2-0 down, that was a problem for them at home. 2-0 down, they had to battle their way back. Carl Gregg got a great header, and then Cicerone got a scramble, but that should have been a win, and instead they were lucky to get away with a draw. Let's have a look at this again.
As here's Kadeem Dakers taking on the challenge there, shoved off it by Johnson, which is a bit unnecessary given that they won the ball, but it is a free kick there. You see the captain Enzo Martinez just having a word with our referee Broadley. Now Lewis Hilton try and send in this free kick.
This is where St. Louis are good. Lewis Hilton is a very good provider of crosses into the box, and we've seen Sam Fink and others get up and get on the end of them. And certainly in their cup run, they've scored some fantastic headers. And this is what Mike Jeffrey said he was concerned about, is the fact that they can produce good set-piece plays. Let's see what happens from this.
Hilton and Cicerone over it. You have seen a few set-piece routines in recent weeks. A couple of fakes there as Hilton will hit it with pace, but it's the first man, Jackson. And away for the throw. Saw in the Atlanta match, having Kadeem Dakers run off the ball and eventually try and slide him in to hit the cross. Jeffrey's men are ready to defend the set piece there. Fink, the touch towards the goalkeeper, but will lay it off with his central defensive partner.
So weird, just right there. It's so weird.
It's just Enzo and Niki Jackson up front to do the pressurizing, so they haven't got the legs there. They've got a Duro to help them. It's an extra blue shirt, but Duro then immediately drops off. So no real high press coming from Charlotte.
Nice flick idea there from Greg. And one again by Kyle Greg, left for Russell Cicerone. Greg, who last Saturday night scored his 50th USL goal.
What a good header it was as well. What a cross from Cicerone. Brilliant, with a lot of pace in it. And Kyle Greg arched his head in from a very sort of difficult angle, stuck it in the top corner. Fantastic. But they were already 2-0 down at home to Loudon. That was the problem. As much as they did well to fight back and get the draw, earlier in the season, that would have been a win for them. And that's the difference for St. Louis at the moment.
Ball there from Hilton for Boehner. Now again, making those runs, Hilton with his central midfield partner, Dakers. Now for Paris G, and Dakers are space on that left-hand side. The cross comes in. Greg was threatening, as was Calvert. More service like that required as a free kick here given away by Niki Jackson. Leaving too much in there for Sam Fink. Taken quickly, now Cicerone in a pocket of space, but well back by Kevon George. Duro doing well to lay off for Taku. Charges Charlotte forward. Domenico Duro. The Ghanaian switching the play. Johnson and Enzo Martinez. First touch required. Now Johnson. Too much to aim at from a crossing point of view, so Charlotte keen to keep the ball. Dakers doing well to get in the way. Umar. Oh, it's a poor giveaway straight to the feet of Domenico Duro. It was a strike right into Sam Fink.
It was a tired pass from Umar, and I think that just sums up what's happening with St. Louis. They're tired mentally, they've got tired legs. They don't have the options on the bench, they don't have the options in their squad. I think that's why we're seeing them struggle. It's just, and that pass seems to sum it all up. Umar, he wouldn't do that in the cup matches. They were a lot sharper than that, but in the league games, they just haven't been able to raise their energy levels.
Hugh Roberts. Again, Dakers in the passing lanes, and now trying to apply some pressure. Back to keeper Miller. So Lewis can just do with one that comes easy at the moment. The pressure applied yields them a goal, but they'll try and continue to build up. Fink's ball straight for Kevon George. Now Martinez. You see Kevon George in the center of the park with such calm on the ball, laying off and distribution engine for Charlotte.
They're very comfortable on the ball here, Charlotte, and as Coach Mike Jeffrey said, he just wants to get them playing the Charlotte way, playing the ball to each other, moving the ball around, nice football, and we saw that with the goal. Lovely cross, and here good pressure from Enzo.
Enzo Martinez winning the ball off of Paris G. Now on his way with Oduro and Jackson for options. Martinez now with the flashy touches, leaving it for his brother, who tried to play the return ball. And Paris G winning it back for St. Louis. Now Dakers trying to use his pace to get there. Went over the ball and caught Johnson. We play on. Here's Jackson flicking on for Oduro. It nearly came for Jackson as well. Fink with the tackle to get in the way.
That was a crucial touch from Sam Fink. There were two players, Jackson and Oduro, both lining up to stick that in the back of the net. And Sam Fink just got his big size 10s on the end of it to clear the trouble. That was a moment where it nearly provided Charlotte with their second goal.
I actually think there might have been a bit of miscommunication there. I think that flick was either for Jackson or for Oduro, but ended up sort of being for neither of them, and it allowed Fink to recover and put the crucial challenge in. There you see the fourth official prematurely putting up the 1 minute to be added on here at the end of this first half.
Well, if you're a Charlotte fan, you're going to be thinking 1-0 up. And it's a tired St. Louis team. You think the Charlotte team might even get stronger in the second half. For St. Louis, it's exactly the opposite. What can they do to turn this match around with tired legs and tired brains? And very little on the bench. It's going to be a really big ask second half, and maybe Anthony Pulis is going to have to fire his team up with some harsh words. He needs to do something at halftime, I would suggest.
We are in stoppage time, brought to you by Jack's Houses. Here's Niki Jackson laying it off for Martinez, who finds some space approaching the area. Alex Martinez, tackle comes in, and it is going to be handball after the tackle came in from Oscar Umar. And he played the ball off of Martinez's arm, and a free kick for St. Louis.
I think he was just falling there. Alex Martinez, and his hand sort of touched the ball as he was trying to regain his balance. But this is virtually it for the first half, and another first half in which the St. Louis fans must be worried that their team just are not finding their rhythm.
And there is the halftime whistle. Charlotte Independence with an early first half goal. Seeing them in front of the opening 5 minutes, Dominic Oduro finding Niki Jackson. And that combination has the hosts in front. They've been in control since then, even without the ball for much of it. Your score at the break, Charlotte Independence 1, St. Louis FC 0.
These are the hands of Novant Health. The hands saving lives. Taking control when it matters most. These are the hands advancing care. They're skillful, precise, and compassionate.
It's gonna be okay from here.
They're the hands giving you strength. Those same hands delivering specialized care also take the time to hold yours. And they'll be waving goodbye as you walk out of our doors and back to your life. These are the hands of Novant Health, the hands making healthcare remarkable.
Tarjeta.
¿No encuentras tu tarjeta de débito? Desactívala con tu app.
Disculpa, estoy buscando mi tarjeta.
Esta es la tuya, ¿cierto?
Sí.
Y cuando la encuentres, vuélvela a activar.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
Charlotte Independence leading by 1-0 at the break over St. Louis FC. Charlotte looking for a fourth home win in 4. Been tremendous here at the Sportsplex since Mike Jeffries took over the side again, as we can now get to our first half highlights, showing you the best of this first half. And Gary Bailey, here would be the goal. It comes to Dominic Oduro on this left-hand side. He finds Niki Jackson on the back post.
Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant ball in. Picks it up, gets enough height on it. Niki Jackson heads it back absolutely brilliantly there as well. Camden Feo caught out a little bit on the far side. Don't think it's the goalkeeper's ball, but what a lovely cross this is. And Niki Jackson, with the keeper's fist coming towards him, heads it back the way it's come, and they're 1-0 down in the opening few minutes.
And St. Louis to try and get the chances going the other way would come to Camden Feo, and Kyle Gregg probably with the best chance in the first half for St. Louis.
Yeah, and it's well taken. It's a good turn. It comes to him very quickly. And he takes it and gets a shot, but a comfortable save in the end for Brandon Miller.
And then a giveaway by Lewis Hilton in central midfield, and Enzo Martinez nearly catching Fenlison out.
Yeah, would have been the goal of the season if he had, but it was a nice positive effort. There, Fenlison calling for it, and Sam Fink leaves it. Oduro, if he'd have just assumed it was going to come through, he would have been on the end. You can see the smile on his face. He's thinking, oh, the keeper was lucky to get away with that one.
More positive play here for Charlotte, as Joel Johnson would interchange here. Martinez towards that byline, and look at this attempt by Jackson. Nearly straight into the top corner.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. He had the power behind it. He had the direction. It's a little bit too much height as it goes over the crossbar, but brilliant effort there from Niki Jackson.
And more work here for Charlotte. They've really had a majority of the chances. Taku's effort well wide of target.
He probably didn't want that one to end up in the highlights package, did he?
And then Taku would find a great ball. Jackson with a touch. And Oduro hesitates, and Fink gets the challenge in.
Oh, Fink just in time there. Oduro was about to pull the trigger, so was Jackson. But look at this from St. Louis. One shot. Yes, it wasn't target, that one from Kyle Gregg, but Brandon Miller had that one covered. Charlotte Independence, 6 shots. Yeah, only one on target, but at least they were probing around the box, trying. For St. Louis, 1 shot is not good enough.
And more work to do for the visitors when we come out of halftime, but still plenty more to come. We'll show you some of the best from around USL right now.
Nice little cut in. Here's a blasted back in, and it's a goal for North Carolina FC. What a rip from Connor Presley as Ben Spees lets one fly and drills it. Martinez, the way it in.
The boys in purple have dominated.
Ownby charging on, curling the cross. That's excellent from Hoffman. His first goal in Louisville Collins. What a finish for Louisville. They lead.
Cicerone again hitting the cross with pace. Gregg! And there's one. The response from Kyle Gregg. Russell Cicerone with tremendous service in this second half.
Not statistically kept unless you're keeping a track on mileage. Does a lot off the ball to draw space for his teammates.
Collier weaving his way through. Elliot Collier for the hat trick. There it is! Elliot Collier. It's a great opportunity again here for the Hounds.
He goes for goal.
What a shot! What a goal!
Right to party on the 4th of July. What a wonderful!
And when the emotion starts to flow, everyone starts to settle in. Then you can push forward and press the goal.
Rios off the post and in. What a missile that is! Goal number 11 of the year in Rios with a phenomenal finish.
Jameson can give it a go from there if he wants. Jameson is it back to Billy Forbes. Billy, right foot. Billy
Charlotte 1, St. Louis 0 at the break. A tremendous goal from Niki Jackson off the service from Dominico Duro has the hosts in front. Work to do for both sides. We now get to the schedules upcoming for both of these sides. Starting first with Charlotte Independence, a couple of away matches next to Atlanta United 2. And good news for Charlotte, the next game is against a team that lost 8-1 today to New York Red Bulls 2. That is correct. Atlanta United 2 losing by 8 goals to 1.
Wow, that is an absolute hammering, and I'm sure Charlotte will want to add to their miseries, Atlanta United 2's miseries. That's away from home, though. That's at Atlanta United, and then away against Birmingham Legion, then a home match against Louisville City, which won't be easy. So, yeah, none of these games are easy as such, but when you're winning, when you've got an unbeaten record under the new coach or the returning coach, then all games are good. Having said that, when you're on the way down, such as St. Louis are, suddenly, I mean, Tampa Bay Rowdies is always going to be difficult, but then all the others even become difficult. At New York Red Bulls, you talk about an 8-1 win.
Well, yeah. On the opposite side, Red Bulls 2 won by 8 goals to 1. That's the next 2 away matches for St. Louis away against the 2 top sides in the Eastern Conference, but still home matches against a pair of teams below the playoff line in Bethlehem and Memphis. Opportunities to get 3 points for St. Louis. We now take you around some of the news and notes from around the USL Championship. There you see Solomon Asante for an absolutely on fire Phoenix Rising.
Wow, 7 goals, 4 assists, absolutely. But I love this guy. I think he's phenomenal, the Ghanaian international. And Phoenix have been phenomenal, by the way, as well. So great to see him getting honored.
And you see there St. Louis and New Mexico United both going out in the Cup. New Mexico had a fleeting moment where they were in front in Minnesota, and then by halftime, they were 5-1 down. But St. Louis as well, winning 4 matches in the U.S. Open Cup, beating 2 MLS sides, and going out on Wednesday night to the MLS champions. It was certainly a cup run to remember, but now got to get back to work in the USL Championship. They'll try and do so in the second half. When we return, kickoff between Charlotte and St. Louis.
My card.
Misplace your debit card? Turn it off with your app.
Excuse me, my card.
This one's gotta be yours, right?
Yes.
And turn it on when you find it.
This is your health system, powered by Exos. Exos programs are shaped by science, driven by data, and dedicated to pioneering human performance at every level.
We train from youth ages through the professional ranks, in addition to the adult general population.
Though the goals of each individual may differ, the philosophy and approach are identical. Mindset, nutrition, movement, and recovery. These are the pillars of Exos programs and the foundation on which all athletic improvement is built.
They take you beyond the simplicity of the exercise and connect that to how it impacts your final performance.
Exos got me back in shape. I'm feeling great, sleeping well, eating right, body's back where it needs to be.
Rapid on 3, rapid on 3. 1,
2, 3, rapid! Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
Charlotte 1, St. Louis 0 at the break. Chris Whittingham and the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey here for commentary of this one. Some fans enjoying their halftime on that second floor here at the Plex, as these sides will return to the field in moments. I want to take a look at the goal in deeper detail as Dominico Duro finding Niki Jackson for the opening salvo of this USL Championship match.
Well, Enzo battling so well there and manages to get the ball to Adura. He picks out Niki Jackson absolutely perfect, Has he got too much time on the ball? Have they given him the space? In fact, they've given a lot of space there. Camden Feo allowing Niki Jackson to get away off his shoulder, and then too much time given to Oduro to pick out his spot as well. So questionable defending, not much that Jake Finlayson can do about that. And while the fans might be relaxed, I'm not so sure the St. Louis dressing room will be. I've got a funny feeling there could be a few harsh words being said as coach Anthony Pulis tries somehow to get his team fired up, because as we've seen from the matches coming up, with Tampa away, New York Red Bulls away, if he doesn't get something out of this match today, things might go from bad to worse.
Even a point doesn't necessarily feel satisfying because it's still without a win since April.
Yeah, exactly. A win gives you the 3 points that makes a big difference. Draws, it's not the end of the world, but it's not really what you want. And how a season can change for St. Louis fans from being so brilliant early on in the season, having the most magical cup run, and all of a sudden you find that your league form's gone. And just the body language of some of the players. You know, we were talking about Oscar Umar. He looks tired. Maybe Gaia Ben would be the one that you and I feel would come on second half and bring some extra energy. But it's just it's a tired-looking St. Louis side, and you can't blame them. Not an easy cup match midweek, but they've got to dig in deep somehow.
Did see in one of our shots of the crowd, there's a woman wearing a U.S. women's national team shirt. Needed updated with the 4th star. There was only 3 stars on it, and now you got to get your 4-star gear now.
Absolutely, great support for the women's team, and that World Cup match was just fantastic. In fact, the whole tournament was just absolutely brilliant, and a huge credit to the country. But all that excitement is over, and right now for the St. Louis fans and their team, it's about what can they do second half. For Charlotte, it's can they take advantage of the trials and tribulations of St. Louis to add a second and third.
We've talked plenty about the poor form of St. Louis, but Charlotte's on good form right now. A win tonight, and it's 14 points from 18. A tremendous turnaround from where they were earlier this year, and most importantly for them, you'd have to say, making their home ground a fortress and wanting more fans to come out and see this team win week in, week out.
Yeah, brilliant effort by Mike Jeffries and the players. They look confident, they're playing confidently, they're going to move into the playoffs if they can keep this result here today. So happy days for Charlotte, they're going in the right direction, and that man up front, Niki Jackson. Good goal, very, very good header, and nearly the goal of the weekend with that overhead kick that just flew over the crossbar.
We had 2 nearly goals of the weekend of the first half, with Enzo Martinez's effort from the halfway line and Niki Jackson's attempted sensational effort. As we're underway in the second half, St. Louis continue in their away whites, Charlotte in the all blue. Their 4-4-2 shape as the tackle comes in on Afram Taku, and a free kick here for Charlotte. Both teams in 4-4-2.
Yeah, Calvert seemed to win the ball. I think you can hear Anthony Pulis arguing that Calvert got the ball, but maybe got the player as well. Tough times for Anthony Pulis, done a fantastic job early in the season. Once again, got to give him wonderful credit for an incredible cup run. Now all the pressure and all the press and all the other stuff will start to focus on their league performance. It's not looking too good at the moment.
I think he will have earned some credit with ownership and fans alike. First time in the playoffs a year ago, and first time in the Open Cup quarterfinal, much less the round of 16. Pulis will certainly have earned his share of credit for the work he's done at this club, but still he would not be pleased. He's at times talked about quality of performance and now just needs some results. As here is Alex Martinez. Infield towards his brother. Enzo trying to slide in and win it back, but now what can St. Louis do now that they have the ball again? Here's Cicerone, who's drifted to this left-hand side. Lovely ball there from Hilton. And now Paris G. Will certainly like to cut inside. Not too many options, and lays it off with Umar. Dacres now on this right-hand side. Rosedale, New York native. Now Hilton, can he slide in Dacres? It's a decent idea, but left too much of it there for Tico, and it will be a goal kick.
Oh, St. Louis looking positive after the halftime rest and chat from the manager. And that's going to be their aim, to come at Charlotte and try and put that man, Brandon Miller, under all sorts of pressure second half. Just how long will that energy last for St. Louis? And will Charlotte slowly wear them down with their passing game?
As Miller will take it short here with Mansally. Now for Oduro. A couple of passes and Charlotte are away. Enzo Martinez to slide in Taku. And another good ball for Alex Martinez into the penalty area, onto his left, try to get the better of G with that second touch. But the defender getting stuck in and winning it back. Greg unable to find an option now. Again, here's Enzo Martinez running at Kavita. Tries the right-footed effort and it sails onto the second floor there. Some of those fans are enjoying their evenings, and a wayward ball in their direction.
Just wonder if he couldn't have crossed it. He had Jackson in the box there on his own. Well, there were defenders around him, but certainly the angle that Enzo was at, he wasn't going to score very easily, and a ball in the box might have caused more problems.
Bit heavy there for Matt Boehner. Come all the way for goalkeeper Miller. Now Mansally. Those are the kind of positions that Charlotte have done so well to play out of. It shows the quality in this team. As the header is there from Boehner, and Umar unable to track it.
That's the footballing style that Mike Jeffries has talked about. He wants his team to play ball. He wants them to knock it around, to be creative, to make space, to play into space.
Joel Johnson with a first-time delivery, and there's the second goal for Charlotte. A first-time hit from Enzo Martinez from the edge of the penalty area. And for a second half running, they've scored in the opening 5 minutes. Charlotte 2, St. Louis 0.
We were just paying credit to that lovely football style that Mike Jeffries has brought back to the team, and it set them up with that shot from Enzo. I think Jake Finlayson will want that again. He got his hands to it, and it goes through his hands into the back of the net. Joel Johnson plays the ball. It's lovely football, hits it first time. Look, the goalkeeper gets it. Look at the goalkeeper's reaction. He knows it. The defenders hold their heads in their hands. Error by the goalkeeper, but credit to Enzo. He gets a goal. It was his brother last weekend, and now he adds to the goal scoring for Charlotte.
And it's Joel Johnson with a fizzing ball through the area as well. Hit with pace. And the perfect pace as well for Enzo Martinez to take. And Charlotte's tremendous run here at the Sportsplex continues. They're now 2 goals to the good.
Things just go from bad to worse for St. Louis. Jake Finlayson, such a good season he's had. Such a reliable goalkeeper, gets 2 hands to it, and it goes in the back of the net. And that should never happen to a goalkeeper as good as him.
We're going to have yellow here for Kadeem Dakers. His tackle on Enzo Martinez decleated him. And a first booking for St. Louis FC. Seemed too much like frustration. The tackle just went over the ball. But you wonder how deflating it would be for St. Louis to concede quickly after the second half. So you have a look at the tackle.
It's a little bit of a sort of studs. Nothing, I don't think he was trying to be nasty at all. Just didn't quite time that tackle right. Home fans are loving it, as they should do. Charlotte looking good now at 2-0, but St. Louis came flying out positively, and they've lost all that feeling within the first couple of minutes. 2-0 down, and they really do have their backs against the wall.
Another tackle in there from Alex Martinez. And it is a free kick given away. 2 full-time results from earlier in the day in the USL Eastern Conference, USL Championship Eastern Conference. Hartford Athletic moving into their new ground, winning by 2-1. Jose Angulo and Wojcik. 2 goals for Hartford, 1 back for Josef from the penalty spot, but Hartford ultimately holding on for the 3 points. And then, I mentioned it at halftime, at New York Red Bulls 2, 8, Atlanta United 2, 1.
Wow. That is a hammering.
You rarely see 8 at any level. So well done to Red Bulls 2, who have now scored by far the most goals in the Eastern Conference with 45. Next closest, Nashville SC with 31. And in the West, only Phoenix Rising at matching them at the moment with also 45. But 45 from 19 at USL level is absolutely spectacular.
They have some good strikers. Do New York Red Bulls too. They really do have some good players there. And they're one of those teams that, yes, they might have to lose some of their players to their sort of parent club, but they still manage to perform. So it's a good example to the others, the Atlanta United 2s and one or two of the other sides, Loudons, that they can also, you know, lose players and still perform. Here's that ball. Crossed to Edza. Look at the goalkeeper. Gets both hands. Look at his reaction afterwards, Jake Finlayson. He knows he should have saved that, pushed that around the post. And if you look at St. Louis, that for me is an error by the goalkeeper. The 2 goals conceded against Atlanta United, Boehner dispossessed in the box too easily. Reynolds giving away a penalty in the last minute. I'm sure Anthony Pulis will look at it and say it's just individual errors that are costing us. And they weren't making them earlier in the season. They certainly are making them at this stage of the season.
You would also say that Martinez found himself unmarked as now Kevon George winning the ball, can slide in. Dominic Oduro! And this time Finlayson hanging on and was straight at him. Another giveaway in the center of the park that leads to the chance.
Yep, it's a fair comment. Nice ball in from Johnson. Enzo has a decent effort. It still should have been saved.
Strong tackle there from Roberts Gregg, and trying to charge onto it might come here for Kadeem Dakers. Work to do for Mansally, who just boots it into Rowe's head. And it will be a throw-in for Charlotte. So here's the effort. George sliding in Oduro.
Oduro with a good, strong left foot shot straight at Jake Finlayson. He had no problem dealing with that. But again, it's the question that he gets the shot in the box, and there wasn't too much pressure on him either. Not the best defending from St. Louis, and it sounds like we're picking on the visitors, but given how well they played early in the season, this is so different to what we've seen from them. We know they're better, and they know they're better, and I just think it's tired bodies and tired minds.
And there's the free kick given there by Kevin Broadley. Anthony Pulis shouting that he won the ball, but heavy in there from Umar, and a free kick for Charlotte.
Let's have a look at it again and just see, was there any follow through? I didn't see much. I mean, he won the ball. Maybe there was a slight contact afterwards.
More than slight for me.
You know, when it's not going your way, St. Louis is not going your way. That man must take a lot of credit, Mike Jeffries, for the turnaround here. If they win today, what's that, 4 wins and 2 draws and 6 since he took over again? That really is a stunning turnaround. And if ever the owners were debating whether to keep him, I think, like I said, the contract should be out and ready for him.
And the win would take Charlotte over St. Louis. Now that's dangerous there from Brandon Miller, who just has to boot it away. The touch nearly left too much of it there for Cal Gregg. And Miller, a bit fortunate to get it clear for the St. Louis throw.
Once again, goalkeepers taking too many risks at the back for me. It's not your job to try and pass the ball. If there's any doubt, just knock it up the pitch. Because if you do get dispossessed, it's an almost certain goal you're giving away.
Paris G. Charlotte Independence fans can get all the latest Independence gear now at shopcharlotteindependence.com.
Congratulations to Brian Sheehan.
We were just saying there that Charlotte with the victory would go above St. Louis in the table and into the playoff places. Now, St. Louis do have 4 games in hand on Charlotte, and Charlotte would only be 2 points clear, but rather have the points on the board than matches to play.
Well, given the 2 of those away matches.
As Dakers now with space in the penalty area, back through towards Cicerone, who let it run. And he might have done better to just take the strike on. And now away for Enzo Martinez. Cavita trying to stick a boot in and win the ball back, and does, but Martinez now will try and play on. As I think advantage might have been better. He puts it back in play, and the referee stops just as Alex Martinez was away. And I think the fans wanted to see that free kick allowed to be taken quickly.
I'm wondering why it wasn't allowed. Normally you're allowed to take it quickly, and only when the referee tells you to stop do you have to then keep the ball in one place. So that's frustrating for Charlotte. But a decision that goes in St. Louis's favor, and a very important one, because they were through on goals there, Charlotte. We were talking a moment ago about the games in hand for St. Louis. Well, if two of them are New York Red Bulls away and Tampa Bay Rowdies away, I'm not so sure it helps you that much.
We'll probably have to take advantage of their matches at home. Just up against Bethlehem Steel when they return home, St. Louis. Joel Johnson throwing in for Enzo Martinez. Charlotte Independence will return to the Sportsplex at Matthews in a few weeks' time when they take on Louisville City on August 3rd. You can get your tickets at charlotteindependence.com. Calvert sliding in to try and win the ball back and nearly caught something off Taku. Cicerone giving away. Nice dink there from Martinez, finding his brother Enzo, who it's the first time crossed towards Oduro, nearly found him, but Sam Fink winning the header.
It's a good header from Sam Fink. That was absolutely crucial. That ball was a dangerous one, right into the heart of the box. And Sam Fink does what he does so well, defends that one. Now it's up to St. Louis to try and do something magical. They're 2-0 down. They've got literally just a third of the match left. And they need to be positive. They need to play it forward. They need to create chances. And if they're tired mentally and physically, it's going to be a big ask now to get 2 goals back and maybe 3 to win it. But it's still possible.
Cicerone winning that second ball, now sliding in Caleb Calvert. His first touch forward, but still comes for Cicerone. Miller, a tremendous save. What a reaction as Cicerone was charging through and won the header. That looked like the chance, and now Niki Jackson coming forward for Charlotte. And Sam Fink winning it off him, but Brandon Miller doing exceptionally to keep his clean sheet.
That was a brilliant save from Brandon Miller, and he's made those in the last few games. We said earlier on, he's been one of the main reasons why Charlotte have remained unbeaten in the last 5, and Cicerone put some power behind the header. Keeper's reflex was a brilliant, tips it around the post. He has really kept his side with a clean sheet, and it's a vital, vital save at this stage of the match.
Not too much to do. Had that save to make on Kyle Gregg's effort early stages in the first half, but beyond that, not too many saves to make. Is now G threatening again. First time delivery with his left will now come for Kadeem Dakers on the second ball. His strike. We'll have Miller punching it away. Could have caught Kyle Gregg applying the pressure there.
He was worried that Kyle Gregg might bump him, and he drops the ball, so the keeper punches it away from danger. All of a sudden, a good spell for St. Louis.
Need this to turn into a goal, though. They're going to make their way back into the match with a half hour to play. Hilton. Gregg trying to go first time towards Dakers, but dealt with there by Stephen Tico. Now Jackson unable to hold on to it. And Paris G leaving it with his keeper.
I just wonder if that save's going to go down as one of the saves of the weekend. Absolutely brilliant reflexes from Brandon Miller to his left to stop Cicerone. If it had been 2-1, that would have been St. Louis right back in this match. So, given the context and the timing, that's a crucial, crucial save from Brandon Miller.
Russell, don't get attracted to the ball. Stay behind him.
Fanuel Kavita.
Behind him.
Pulis directing the attack for St. Louis FC. Really not too many options for Umar, who lays it off with his goalkeeper.
Jake, step higher when we're building.
I just wonder if St. Louis are looking, or if Anthony Pulis in particular is looking at Gaia Bend on his bench and thinking, I could do with some fresh legs now. I've just felt we've had a couple little chances. Maybe now's the time to bring on, trouble.
Oh, Brandon Miller, and that was a backwards header, so I believe he's fortunate, because otherwise that could have been uncomfortable for the Charlotte keeper, but I believe it was a backwards header from Mansali.
Did he not pass it to himself?
Well, that would have to be intentional. The feet of Niki Jackson. First time delivered from Enzo Martinez, and after Taku is away, can he get the cross up, peeling it back towards Oduro? and dealt with there by Matt Boehner.
Good chance there for Charlotte, and well cleared by the St. Louis defense. And here is that chance. Cicerone plays the ball off, gets it back, heads it, and both hands used by Brandon Miller to push it away. Maybe the header wasn't quite as strong as we thought. And there, after all his good work, he nearly messes it up, but recovers just in time.
And here is the legend around these parts, Jorge Herrera, the Colombian, will come on.
The man himself is number 10.
On 69 career USL goals, and it will be Niki Jackson who will make way, gets the goal. And for a striker, that's a night's job done.
Fantastic job done. He had a couple of other moments there where he caused problems, but Niki Jackson's first goal was the crucial one that got his team ahead. And now he can hand it over to Herrera and say, right, why don't you just go and add the third so we can all relax and enjoy the rest of the match.
Free kick given away in a dangerous area by St. Louis. St. Louis have already used one of their changes, bringing off Bradley Camden-Fewa after about 27 minutes. Didn't look like there was an obvious injury. Matt Boehner came on for him. And now Jorge Herrera, the first change used by Mike Jeffries. Will be Abdoulaye Mansali over the free kick, or Alex Martinez with 5 to aim at in the penalty area. 2 men in the wall. And Charlotte just about put this one to bed here from the free kick. It will be Mansali to take it towards that back post. Header comes in, and flying through the center back Hugh Roberts, with his header just wide of target.
Oh, it's a good header. It's a lovely free kick into the danger area. Hugh Roberts gets on the end of it. He's frustrated because could he have flicked it on? Beautifully put in. He got too clearer. He got too clean a head on it, didn't he? Got a full head on it where he just needed to flick it on there. He gets away from Daniel Kavita, and that really should have been the third and wrapped it up. Excellent free kick and a lovely ball in there from Mansali.
Hilton laying it off with Paris G. Now Charlotte applying the pressure, and G caught on it. Here's Enzo Martinez, who tries to backheel it, and again G just a bit short for awareness as Enzo Martinez goes all the way through. Martinez tries to go outside of the boot, and Fenlison stood tall. Far too much time allowed there for Enzo Martinez. Now won back by Tico.
Get up!
Jake Fenlison making up there for the second goal that maybe he should have dealt with. A crucial save that keeps his team in the game. So both goalkeepers making massive saves and good attacking play from both teams. This match is really coming alive now.
Paris G caught on it a couple of times there. He might just be absolutely knackered for a week's worth of football.
Such an English word, that, knackered.
I love it. That's why I've co-opted it.
Just explain to all the Americans who don't know what it means. It means when you literally have no energy
Very
left.
tired, yeah.
Very tired, yeah.
A heightened state of tired. As G will lay it off with Fenlison. He just boots it out for a Charlotte throw. Let's have a look at the opportunity here for Martinez. This passage in play.
Stop walking!
Herrera can slide in. Mansali coming through the penalty area. Mansali's cross ended up being a shot straight at Fenlison. And he heard in the middle of that Anthony Pulis shouting at his team, stop walking.
He needs them to have more energy, and they're struggling at this stage of the match. It's Charlotte who look the sharper and the brighter, and Herrera's pass out wide to Mansali was a lovely pass, perfectly weighted. What a good player Herrera is, and it's, they've missed him the last couple of games. His influence, along with the Duro, they really are two crucial players for the Charlotte side. There's Enzo, wins it here, cuts inside the box, and has the shot. Fenlison makes a crucial save.
You see there Hilton once Enzo Martinez skins him. He struggles. He was running through mud, trying to get it back, and Hilton, he's trying to keep it there, stuck an arm up, but now he's going to receive yellow, Lewis Hilton.
Frustration for him. Don't think he meant it, but Referee's being consistent. Any hands in people's faces, and you're going to get at least a free kick, if not more. Let's have a look. Does the arm go up automatically there? There's a little bit of a slap, isn't there? Let's have a look at the left hand there. Yeah, well, it was given earlier in the game. Referee has to be consistent.
Yellow card issued against St. Louis FC.
And it will be
on number 8, Lewis
a
Hilton. Yellow card,
free kick for Charlotte and a booking for Lewis Hilton, his 4th of the year. Hilton, who has 6 assists in all competitions, 3 in the league and 3 in the cup.
That one guy's blocking it.
Key figure
Yeah, sorry, he's blocking it.
in the St. Louis team since Anthony Pulis took charge of it. Johnson. Alex Martinez is going on. Continues on that overlapping run, and Enzo Martinez does spectacularly to find it. Johnson's cross, and Herrera trying to meet it. Boehner winning the header. Now Cicerone just trying to keep possession here for St. Louis. After retreating, need some time to break out of their defensive shape.
They have to be positive, St. Louis. You're 2-0 down with just over 20 minutes left. You've got to be looking to be a little bit more direct, get the ball into the opponent's half. Yeah, you can play it up, but at some point it's got to be forward passes. Because you've got a lot of work to do. 2 goals just to take a point away and 3 to take all 3 points. You're not going to get it by keeping the ball at the back.
It's really passing between defenders and goalkeeper at the moment, but Fenlison can't find an option either. G. Trying to take the touch around Martinez, but it is a throw. We're saying there's energy lacking. It takes energy to create an option off the ball as well. It's not just in defense or when you have the ball, but to create space requires the running to spread yourselves out.
Yep, and a lot of running because you don't always get the ball every time you make a run. And they seem to be static still, St. Louis. Not enough, as you said, not enough runners off the ball. Everybody just jogging, looking for somebody else to do the work.
Cicerone profits off the loose touch, sends the low cross through. It's a tremendous ball through the penalty area. And neither Calvert nor Gregg can get on the other end of it as Mansali clears. Now could it come here for Dominico Duro? Bader will lay it off with his goalkeeper.
That was a lovely cross from Cicerone. Not a good kick out from the keeper, mind. But they still have possession, St. Louis. What a wonderful cross. Fired into the box. And to be fair, if anyone gets the right run into the box, that's a certain goal. So Cicerone providing what was needed. Just didn't get anybody on the end of it.
Nice touch there from Caleb Calvert. And now Umar towards Dakers, but Mansali had it read. You have to say Cicerone's ball last Saturday night resulted in St. Louis getting back in the match against Loudoun and nearly providing similar quality of service leading to a goal.
And in the same position, 2-0 down. You're quite right. What a fantastic cross it was from Cicerone and an unbelievable header from Kyle Gregg. Now they have to do exactly the same as they did against Loudoun. 2-0 down, got to come back and at least get a point. So I think it's going to be harder away from home against this Charlotte side. Look at the blue shirts. They're still energetic. They're still closing down, making it difficult for St. Louis.
But playing out there, finds Cicerone in space. He goes charging on. Cicerone thought about sliding in. Gregg instead goes down through the penalty area, but it was a tackle won by Roberts. As behind the play, Gregg went down, and Pulis just shouting for either one of them to be a penalty.
I don't think that one in the middle was, but the Gregg one, we didn't see what happened there. And the referee doesn't have the benefit of any slow motion replay, so he can't give what he doesn't see. But Cicerone, fantastic run into the box, but I didn't see any trip. I just saw him eventually just lose his legs, and he says to Roberts, never mind. Let's have a look. Look at him, he's running. He plays it. Ooh, there was a touch.
Together.
But he doesn't go down initially, and he eventually goes down. Maybe he could have got a free kick outside the box. That's what Anthony Pulis is suggesting. But the Kyle Gregg one, didn't see what happened there.
Yeah, it was Joel Johnson arriving, and it was just a collision. I don't know if there was a great deal of intent in it, but Joel Johnson ran straight into him.
Well, neither's given.
If you've seen it, if you've been watching the game and doing your job, you tell him that's a penalty kick.
They're going to do a drop ball.
Anthony Pulis just saying that was a blatant penalty kick.
And the referee's trying to do a restart here, and he's given the ball to the keeper, Brandon Miller, who's happy to get his hands on it. So just a reminder to Charlotte that the St. Louis team have the capability, especially up front with Carl Gregg and Cicerone, to get the goals they need. They did it against Loudon. Charlotte are going to have to concentrate and work really hard to stop this really talented St. Louis side from getting back in this game.
And you wonder as well, even if the fourth official had seen it, I don't know what the communication generally is amongst referees, but if the match day referee doesn't see an incident and the fourth official is telling him it's a penalty, I don't know if the referee who doesn't see an incident can be comfortable giving a penalty.
I guess it depends on how clear the fourth official is. If he goes, it's an absolute penalty, then yes, he'll give it. If he goes, I think it might have been, then the referee's unlikely to.
Calvert laying it off for Dakers. It's a powerful left-footed cross in, and again shouts for a penalty as Hilton went down, and Joel Johnson just saying get on with it, as does the referee.
Yeah, I didn't see enough there. Lewis Hilton got a bit of a bump, but not enough to give a penalty for, and there are fresh legs. I thought it might be Guy Bend. It's Vlastov's coming on, the youngster. Let's have a look here. Ball gets whipped in a moment. And have a look at Lewis Hilton. I think he runs into the back of Johnson there. There's no way that's going to be a penalty. Correct decision by the referee.
And you mentioned Nishi Vlastos coming on, an academy player with the club since 2017. Comes from Wyoming, but joined this academy side that did very well at the USDA, the Development Academy playoffs of the U19 clubs from across this country. Played against FC Dallas in the semifinal when they went out. Cicerone approaches the penalty area. Lovely touch, still Cicerone playing it through towards Calvert to try to get a flick towards goal. Instead comes up for Kyle Gregg. Oh, what a fizzing effort that is. And it goes blazing wide. They'd say it took a touch off a Charlotte defender or the goalkeeper on the way through, and it is a corner. But what an effort from Kyle Gregg here.
It's a good strike. I think there was the goalkeeper who gets a touch. Cicerone there with the initial effort comes out. Kyle Gregg hits it. We can't see if it is Brandon Miller. I thought he might have got a touch on it. Now it's a corner, and St. Louis are really pushing to get themselves back in the match now.
And now Hilton over the corner. It's their first one of the match.
Really?
It is lofted into the air. Calvert with the header! One back for St. Louis. Cross, header, goal. And the visitors back in it with a quarter of an hour left.
That's a great header, right past Brandon Miller. He can't get it, it's knocked down into the ground. Calvert, ideal time to get back in it, and that's exactly what coach Mike Jeffrey said he was worried about. Lewis Hilton with the set piece. The ball headed down with power into the ground, up, over, and past Brandon Miller. He can't get a touch to it. And now we have a grandstand finish, and as they did against Loudon, St. Louis have got themselves back in the match.
Stepping out to the pitch, number 11.
And it is a 75th minute goal for Caleb Calvert, his second of the season against his former club. Four seasons with Charlotte Independence. Scores on his return to the Plex. Now it's 2-1. Can St. Louis find that second win they need in order to complete the comeback? As Herrera will lay it off. Lovely ball from George, but Martinez unable to take it down, and it runs out for the throw.
And look at Charlotte, they're going to keep the blue shirts and make it difficult for St. Louis to play out. Look, there's four already in vision, fifth one coming in. They're going to tighten the noose as much as they can and try and stop St. Louis from getting into their half of the pitch.
Cicerone clearing. And you have to say, the one player who's remained consistent through this all for St. Louis is Cicerone, who creates the skill, and the opportunity eventually fell for Gregg, and from that corner is how St. Louis get that goal, but it is the inspiration from Cicerone that starts it.
Absolutely. I think he's been their best player for quite a while, Cicerone. He offers you everything: goals, assists, effort, skill. Vital, vital player for the St. Louis side. Look at that, they're jogging back, the white shirts, they're, to use your colloquialism, they're knackered. But they've got to keep trying, they've got to keep pushing. Looking at Cicerone near side of the picture, he can barely run at the moment.
Still so much effort left to give. Imagine there'll be 3 or 4 minutes added on to the end of this one as well.
So I'm surprised we haven't seen Gaia bend. He's on the bench. So I'm assuming he's capable of giving 15, 20 minutes worth of effort.
He was on the bench as well on Wednesday night. It didn't come on. You wonder if he's on the bench, but is really unavailable, which would be devastating for Anthony Pulis. Just another player out, as here's Martinez in the area, trying to pull it back for Valentin Sabella, who has come on.
Kids, if you're 12
middle of all of that,
he
does enter the fray for his 4th appearance of the year, made his first start last weekend. Valentin Sabella is on. We'll get you the full confirmation of that change in a moment.
And he's a lovely story, isn't he? Coming from the Florida soccer soldiers who did so well in the US Open Cup, and Charlotte decided to sign the young man. And he really is a wonderful talent. Played against Pittsburgh last week and did really well until he was subbed by Maduro.
We'll try and get something here from this Chick-fil-A corner for Charlotte. Mansally to deliver. Hilton standing short. It is sent with pace in. Sabella among those threatening, but St. Louis won that initial header. Now Daker's trying to get there first, and Joel Johnson is definitely going to receive a booking here for that tackle.
What you would call a professional foul. He saw he was going to get beaten for pace. Just pulled out his arm and gave a good tug. Now they're busy arguing. I'm not quite sure what else they're arguing about here.
That's because it was a straight red.
Was it a straight red?
Joel Johnson is off.
I thought it was a tug. Let's have a look here. If it was an elbow in the face. Oh, it was as well. It actually was an elbow. I thought it was a tug. Look at the right arm go up. I don't think he meant to. I think he was turning away, but the net effect was an elbow in the face, and it's deemed to be a red card. And that is a blow for Charlotte. I think some people might have seen it perhaps as a yellow, that he was just trying to use a professional foul to slow down the St. Louis man, but in the end it was a dangerous elbow, so red card it is.
On number 22, Joel Johnson.
And wow. Straight away, Charlotte turning into, oh, and there's also the frustration as well after he boots the ball away. And now with 10 minutes to play, Charlotte a man down, but a goal to the good. They might have to hang on here for this 4th victory at home in a row.
Well, St. Louis fans wanted their team to fight back and make a game of it. They certainly have done that. They've got the crucial goal. And now they've got 1 man extra, and that's going to put a spring in their step for this last 10 minutes. So not going down without a fight are Anthony Pulis's men.
And just like that, defender for attacker as Aaron Mond will come on for Enzo Martinez for the final change.
Stepping off the pitch, a big hand for number 19, Enzo Martinez.
There is Martinez making way.
Never nice when you're sacrificed because of a sending off. Not really your fault. The coach has got to bring on fresh legs, someone who can make up for the fact they are a man down.
And now for St. Louis, probably struggling to find that energy in those legs, 2-0 down, but they get 1 back, and now see a man sent off. They've got to feel like they can find something in the tank for these final 8 minutes plus stoppage time. Here's Vlastos.
It's amazing how you do get a sudden spring in your step when things start working out for you. And they really haven't had things go well for them in the USL these last few weeks.
Flicked on there by Kavita. Now Calgary can keep it in play. Laid off with Russell Cicerone. Fakes the cross. Now we'll go at it with his left towards that back post. multiple white shirts arriving. It was Calvert the closest to it. Does come out the other side, and now Boehner for Vlastos. Dakers timing his run. It's a good ball through. Dakers peeling it back. Not enough purchase on it. And now Afram Taku to take it away. Sliding tackle is strong and won by Boehner, though. Calvert for Cicerone. Russell Cicerone trying to cut it back onto his right. Turning again. Leaving it with Lewis Hilton, who will try and bend one towards that far corner. And it takes a deflection and settles nicely for Brandon Miller.
Good energy from St. Louis there, probing around the edge of the box, forcing Charlotte to defend with their lives, and just didn't quite happen for him. Cicerone early in that move put a wonderful cross into the box, absolutely brilliant cross. They're forcing Charlotte to have to work really hard here, especially the fact they're a man down. The blue shirts.
G able to win it back for St. Louis. Tug of the shirt there, his advantage is given. Here's Dakers. Now Vlastos. Charlotte keeping numbers back. And work to do here for Dakers to keep it in play. He does get there. Kadeem Dakers. Let's come here for Nishi Vlastos. Right-footed crosses in. Greg with the header. But no one on that back post.
Yeah, the header didn't cause enough problems for the goalkeeper, and if it was a little bit further away from the keeper, he might have got Calvert in. Either way, it doesn't do much to cause a problem, but it just shows you that St. Louis, when they really want to, they can get themselves back in the match. This is a St. Louis of 2-3 months ago, creating opportunities, firing balls across the box, giving defenders problem. We haven't seen St. Louis this entire match play the real way. They can play. We're seeing it right now.
As Taku goes through. It does look like Dominic Oduro was the player that came off earlier for Valentin Sabella. We saw the full confirmation of that change, but Sabella is on that left-hand side.
Right near the clubhouse after the final whistle. A reminder, fans, for your safety and the safety of others, do not climb over
More than 5 minutes to play.
Stay off the field. We thank you for your cooperation, and we'll see you over at the alley.
Kavita. Cicerone in some space at the edge of the penalty area. Dakers dinking over, but header won. That's one way to clear a ball. We'll come here for Calvert, his left-footed effort, spilled there by Miller, and it will come for a St. Louis corner.
Well, at least the goalkeeper makes the save. Not quite convincing, but he's been a difficult man to beat, Brandon Miller, this match. That's another crucial save, but another corner for the visitors, and they're so dangerous from set pieces. Lewis Hilton. Let's see what happens now. They managed to get back against Loudon from 2-0 down to 2-2. Can they do it again?
Can Lightning strike twice? On a comeback and on a corner, as well as Lewis Hilton will deliver towards that near post. Fink flying through will come here for Hilton. Now Dakers, his left-footed cross is a decent one. Miller out to punch. Rising well. Now Vlastos trying to just ping it through. Kevon George with a touch away. Now Calvert just trying to take it down. Letting it run well here for Matt Boehner. Vlastos. You see Charlotte is down to 10 after Joel Johnson got sent off. Cicerone. The tackle in from Alex Martinez. Imagine Charlotte will spend a remainder of this match defending.
Yep.
Hanging on for 3 points.
All those blue shirts are back, aren't they? And by the way, Brandon Miller a few moments ago, lovely punch to get the ball away from danger. He has been a rock for them in defense at the back there for Charlotte.
Vlastos. St. Louis almost without shape at this point. Just everyone forward appears to be the look of it at the moment. Vlastos doing well to get around Sabella. Now for Matt Boehner on this right-hand side. Can he pick out a cross? It's delivered towards Caleb Calvert, who rose, but it just sailed over his head. Now Alex Martinez dallied on it a little bit, but now can charge out for Charlotte. Oh, it's a poor ball there for Herrera, isn't it?
It's risky of Alex Martinez to start dribbling out of your own box with 3 minutes left and just kick the ball clear. You just managed to get away, and then after all the hard work, he gives possession away.
Now Cicerone trying to pick out the cross. Diving header away there from Hugh Roberts.
I think Charlotte would be well advised to stay close to Cicerone and not allow him to keep putting balls in the box. He's put some fantastic crosses in.
Charlotte fans trying to get behind their side, see out these 3 points. Dakers.
Wide and delivery! Wide and delivery!
You hear the instructions there from Anthony Pulis. Get it wide and put the crosses in. This is what Cicerone will be asked to do here, turning away from the defender Martinez. As a two-footed player, can do so much. Hilton trying to poke it through. The strike comes in from Dakers, but straight into Roberts. It's a key part of Cicerone's game is being able to not only play on either side, but cross with either side and bamboozle defenders. As G will now try and bend across, and it's a good one towards Greg. We get something to it. Boehner trying to keep it in play, and it is a goal kick.
Much to the frustration of the St. Louis players, they thought they should have had a corner out of it. Referee says no, it's a goal kick, and Charlotte defending with their lives at the moment as they work this clock down. And I'm sure St. Louis fans will be looking at this going, well, where was this team for 70, nearly 80 minutes? Charlotte fans are delighted they didn't see that team for 70, 80 minutes. This is the St. Louis we've seen early on, and Anthony Pulis would love to have seen from the beginning, but they just didn't have the energy. They've got it now, but what they haven't got is time.
Herrera throwing his body around a bit too aggressively in the judgment of the referee. A free kick given away there by the 38-year-old Colombian. And G now going to be stretched, dealing with some cramps here.
They're all dripping with sweat, the St. Louis players, as I'm sure the Charlotte players are as well. But if you've played on Wednesday night against Atlanta United and then again today, I'm sure there's a little bit of extra sweat on the white shirts.
As Hilton lofts it into the area, comes off of Tico, but straight for Miller.
Goalkeeper's made some crucial saves today, really has been vital to keeping his team in the match, and his header against the save from the header from Cicerone was a crucial moment. Almost a point-blank header, and the keeper pushed it away from danger, and that kept his team in the lead.
There's the foul given away there in the center of the park by Taku and Cal Gregg winning the free kick, and now St. Louis can just pour men forward as we await confirmation of second half stoppage time. Presented by Jack's House.
All the big men are moving forward in the white shirts. This is going to be a ball into the box from Lewis Hilton. It's going to be an almighty battle.
As Hilton begins the minimum of 4 at the end of this match. Header away there by George. Corner for St. Louis.
More pressure from the visitors. For Charlotte, they've just got to hang on, get organized, commit themselves, maybe take a knock if necessary, put their bodies on the line to defend this lead. With the likes of Sam Fink coming in, you know there's going to be elbows and heads flying everywhere. It's a moment for the brave for Charlotte.
Hilton over the corner. 6 to aim at. And it's towards that near post. And they're not getting there first. Now Vlastos trying to take it down. Touch a bit heavy there from Vlastos. And now with his fresh legs, can he get there ahead of Martinez? He does. Sabella nearly played him in.
Just going back to that corner, bad corner from Lewis Hilton. He knew it. All those bodies were waiting, and then possession lost. Now they can come back though.
Sent long, header from Roberts. Comes from Dakers. Now Calvert. Spraying it out for Paris G. Here's Russell Cicerone in wide area. Crossing towards that back post. Greg winning the header. Look out for Calvert, who tries to take it down. Challenge came in. Referee not interested as Calvert went down.
Hard to see what happened there. And there's calls for a penalty. I couldn't see whether he was actually brought down or whether he went to shoot and fell over. I'd have to see it again. It must be horrible being a referee. Anthony Pulis is beside himself. He thinks he should have had a penalty.
As now Vlastos tries to send it through. Took a deflection, and it comes for Miller. What a moment that could have been.
Let's have a look again. Ball gets headed back, and oh, I think it is a penalty. It absolutely is. He's going to shoot, and he gets taken out. He gets cleaned out. But we have the benefit of the slow motion replay. And for St. Louis, wow, another decision goes against them.
Have to feel hard done by. There is the coming together with Joel Johnson in the penalty area with Kyle Gregg. That Anthony Pulis had a shout for a penalty in there. That felt blatant to me.
Yeah. Seeing it again, absolutely blatant. But when a referee gets a split second to see it, not so easy to call it.
Cicerone again trying to send it low and through. Not the best ball, but is cut out for another corner.
When the soccer gods are against you, they really are against you.
Yeah.
1-0 down against Atlanta until the dying seconds. And they lose that one. They go 2 down against Loudoun, have to fight their way back in. They're 2-0 down here, they get back in and then get denied a great penalty shout.
Last minute of a minimum of 4 towards the back post. A couple rising there, and it is another goal kick. Or, no, not a goal kick. Miller got to it first and tries to throw a counter-attack on its way. But Sabella just hang on to it now and wait defenders to come to him.
Should be able to play the clock down now from this position. Half a minute to go. Just keep it amongst the blue shirts. And if St. Louis do go down 2-1, they've put on a hell of a fight here today. But it just hasn't been enough. And they'll look back at that penalty call, and that's going to be I think a little bit of a discussion point after this game. I think there'll be some words between the St. Louis management and the referee, but it's so difficult for the ref to get that right. It happens so quickly. It's not always easy to read, and there's no VAR to go to either, is there?
As you mentioned, Gary, Charlotte just playing out these final seconds, and there is the full-time whistle. Charlotte Independence have won at home for a 4th straight time. St. Louis FC still without a win in the league. In 8, it finishes Charlotte Independence 2, St. Louis FC 1.
Well done to Charlotte. The save of the game. Let's have a look here. Oh, it's Carl Gregg turns. Decent save there from the goalkeeper, Brandon Miller, who throughout this game made a lot of vital saves. That was just one of them, and a very good save it was as well. And what a hard-fought game.
And that is our Wells Fargo save of the game. There you see the captain, Enzo Martinez, applauding fans and teammates alike. Charlotte with the 3 points on the night. St. Louis, even though they had the man advantage for the final 10 minutes, unable to find that second breakthrough to earn an away point. And for Charlotte Independence, it's a victory that takes them over the playoff line for now. And for Mike Jeffries, still unbeaten since taking over the team again. 14 points from 18 in their last 6 matches for Charlotte. It finishes Charlotte 2, St. Louis 1.
Thanks. It's like a smart thing. What's the weather?
Sunny. Perfect chicken eating weather.
How'd you get in here?
It's time for chicken.
What's the traffic like?
Rerouting you to chicken.
Okay.
Hey, Calzo, order pizza.
Ordering chicken.
No, pizza.
Chicken.
Okay, chicken it is.
Chick-fil-A nuggets make dinner delightful.
Now that's smart.
These are the hands of Novant Health. The hands saving lives. Taking control when it matters most. These are the hands advancing care. They're skillful, precise, and compassionate.
It's gonna be okay from here.
They're the hands giving you strength. Those same hands delivering specialized care also take the time to hold yours. And they'll be waving goodbye as you walk out of our doors and back to your life. These are the hands of Novant Health, the hands making healthcare remarkable.
At full time, it finishes Charlotte Independence 2, St. Louis FC 1. As you have a look at Caleb Calvert talking to his former teammate Jorge Herrera. And the Charlotte players appreciate the fans that came out on the night and supported them to a 2-1 victory. Chris Whittingham, Gary Bailey wrapping things up as we will bring you our full-time highlights here. What was an incident-filled 2-1 victory for Charlotte Independence. Here they are, the full-time highlights and the scoring. To get started in the opening 5 minutes, it will come for Dominic Oduro.
That's a great start for Charlotte. Oduro comes onto his right foot, picks out Niki Jackson at the far post. He gets up, heads it into the other side of the goal. Enzo fighting for the ball in the first place, but what a good cross this is. What a good finish under all sorts of pressure, and the home side are ahead.
Oduro finding Jackson on that back post. I think it just takes a nick off the shoulder of Fenlison, but couldn't get enough to it. Let's have a look at that cross. It's such good service towards that back post. And it is the opening goal for Charlotte Independence. And then here, the chances would start to come for the remainder of the first half. Here, the cross from Brantley Camden Fable arriving at the feet of Kyle Gregg and forcing a good save out of Brandon Miller.
It is a good save, and it's a decent effort as well. Quick turn, and then more pressure from the home side. Johnson on the right-hand side, he gets it across. Jake Finlayson's got to do better, but give Enzo credit. He gets behind this. Enzo Martinez gets a lot of spin on it. It's a little bit too much for the goalkeeper, and suddenly the home side are 2-0 up.
And both goals coming quickly into the halves in the opening 5 minutes of the halves, and here would be a great chance here that would come for Russell Cicerone. Gets his head to it, but Miller again there to save.
That's a very good save from Brandon Miller. Could Cicerone put more in it? There's an effort. And maybe that should have gone in the back of the net by Hugh Roberts. That would have really finished off the match. Cicerone again, brilliant skills, causing trouble left, right, and center. And then this effort from Kyle Gregg. And it's, does the keeper get a little bit of a touch to it?
He does. Well, he denies it, but why not claim a brilliant save? As here would be the goal. Calvert header from the Hilton corner.
Yeah, good header down into the ground. A little bit too much for Brandon Miller to make that save. And suddenly St. Louis are back. And what a fantastic final few minutes we had in this game. And a penalty appeal as well at the very death, not given.
And Charlotte Independence, you see here in our standings, brought to you by Wells Fargo. Moving above the playoff line now with 23 points, takes them above St. Louis. Now, they have played more matches than everyone above them, but still great to see given the start to the season for Charlotte.
Yep, St. Louis heading in the wrong direction. No wins in 8 in the USL, even though they've had a wonderful cup run. Next away, Tampa Bay Rowdies, and there's a home match and there's an away match against high-flying New York Red Bulls in second position. So tough times for St. Louis, but their fans can take heart. Wonderful ending. They came back, they showed courage, they showed belief, and I think the St. Louis side will get themselves out of trouble eventually. But right now, they're going through a bad patch.
Charlotte next up against Atlanta United 2 away. They've taken 14 points from the last available 18, and tonight it finishes Charlotte Independence 2, St. Louis FC 1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.